have the first verdict on count 1, racketeering conspiracy. How do you find the defendant not guilty? And so now they'll move on to count 2. Count 2, how do you find the defendant not guilty? That is the sex trafficking of Cassie Ventura. On count 3, which is Mann Act transportation involving Cassie Ventura, guilty. Count 4, sex trafficking of Jane, not guilty. Count 5, Mann Act transportation of Jane, guilty. Oh, wow. So mixed verdict here. Not guilty on 3 of the charges, guilty on 2 of the charges.
Savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get! Yes! What's next? What's next? I gotta get it. I'm not gonna stay fucking down. I'm not gonna stay fucking lying down. I'm not. I can't do that, man. I can't do that. What's next? Give me something else. What can't you do? I can do it. I can do anything.
Nah, ain't no way, man. There is no way that man Diddy took on the feds and beat the RICO. Hey, man. Hey, shots for Diddy right now, man. We taking a shot for Diddy right now. It's water, YouTube. This man, the D, the I, the D, the D, the Y, the Diddler, the Sean, John, Mr. Take That, Puffy, whatever you know him as. Just know him as he is not a trafficker. All right, he is not involved in any type of racketeering activity. Okay, he might be involved in a little bit of prostitution. He might be paying for the box here and there, or in his case, I mean, you know what I'm saying? We found out a lot about this case. Now, I don't want to sound like if I'm uncompassionate, okay? If there are victims and there is reasonable proof, definitive proof, you know, their story should be heard. I'm just talking about in this case situation. This case was more of a shaming ritual for Diddy, for him to go through. I guess that they thought that he was getting a little bit too big, thinking that he was bigger than the brand, thinking that he was bigger than everybody else. You know, in my opinion, this whole thing stemmed from some sort of falling out between Diddy and Diageo, where, you know, he wanted to up the Ciroc. He said he wanted Ciroc to be, you know, in golf clubs and in country clubs versus being down in the clubs or in the urban clubs or urban inner city type of scene.
Was there no press conferences? That you know, they had the mic set up outside.
We left early. I left early.
No, it was like a riot out there. Like they were squirting baby oil on everybody. Like,
I wasn't even planning on doing a video today, but then I saw people gathered outside of the courthouse celebrating. All right, people are out there pouring baby oil on each other. No Diddy. No, matter of fact, can we even say no Diddy still? Because now we know Diddy didn't do it. All right, Diddy was not out here trafficking. He was not out here coercing people. People were outside celebrating like it was the O.J. Simpson acquittal. I'm hearing reports that people inside of the courtroom gave a round of applause after the verdict was read. And even some of Diddy's attorneys, because remember, Diddy had like 8 attorneys on the trial, including YSL Steele, who now after beating 2 RICOs in less than a year, we might as well just call him RICO Steele. But I'm hearing reports that 2 of the attorneys were embracing each other and crying and breaking down after the verdict was read. Because remember, Diddy, they were looking to put Diddy underneath the prison. All right, and based on what I saw during the case, I didn't want to make a video on the case because it was covered for like a few weeks. But during the case, I did keep up with it. Shout out to academics and also Lauren Collier, sorry if I butcher your name, and Unc, shout out to them. They had the best coverage on this case, along with Inner City Press. Their coverage of this case was amazing. But as I was going through the records and people's coverage, I didn't see any type of force and manipulation. There were times in this case where Diddy gave them outs. People are making that Cassie Ventura is the big victim in this. Now, if we gonna talk about the assault, the video, yes, Diddy was guilty of that. Okay, I'm not saying that he wasn't out here putting his hands on these women, but that's not what the charges were. All right, if they would have charged him with assault, guilty. But they charged him with racketeering, trafficking, coercion, prostitution. And from what I could see, these women all wanted to be a part of it. Cassie at one point even said if she wasn't with Diddy, who's she gonna be with? Because, you know, women don't ever, regress when it comes to their dating. She said who was she gonna date? Because Jay-Z is already taken because he got Beyonce. And she don't want to settle with a regular guy, even though she did end up settling with the help. You know, trainer that Diddy got her is who she ended up getting married to. You know, probably years after after the quote unquote abuse by Diddy. Now she's, trying to start a new life. She's a mother. She's a wife. Shout out to her. They end up moving back into her parents' crib with their kids and her man that she got to take care of type thing. And that's where this lawsuit comes in my opinion. That's where this lawsuit came from. All right, and then she got her 30 M's, 35 M's, and still turned around and testified. And from what I could see in these things, from text messages from her, Joy Daphne, Jane Doe, it all seemed like if these women were willing participants. All right, they all benefited. They got what they wanted, whether it be living a certain lifestyle. And then when they got tired of it, it seems like, or when the money slowed up, or when Diddy didn't want to make them something exclusive, that seems like where all of the resentment came. I think the diddler deserves to be home because they didn't prove anything nefarious that he was doing. If anything, we all know that Diddy just a freaky ass nigga now. He having the freak offs. He doing freaky type stuff. He having women getting bust down by 5-6 dudes in the night. Dudes nutting all up in them. Can't even wear a condom. And then going to the next room, pulling the cum all up out of they crevices and everything, rubbing it on Diddy's nipples and stuff like that. We just got to see a whole other side of Diddy that I don't think anybody really wanted to see. But as far as trafficking and having unwilling participants, nah, not for me. But there are some people that were disappointed in the outcome. Hater Report posted this over on X. 50 Cent every time one of Diddy's verdicts came back not guilty. And 50 wasn't the only one. There's a lot of you dusty, crusty women out here that wanted to see Diddy go under the prison, that believed Cassie was this victim and Jane Doe were all victims that had no say in what was going on. Like if Diddy didn't tell them, they could leave at any point. Are you sure you want to be involved in this lifestyle? Daphne Joy at one point even offered the all-star freak off on a few occasions. They believe Cassie was such a victim in all of this. Okay, and I'm not saying she wasn't a victim of assault. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. But to say that, she was staying there against her will, and he put her on to a lifestyle that couldn't have been duplicated, and that was what made her stay. Like, bro, if Cassie wanted to work or go pull another rich man or something like that, she could have. She understood why she was staying. All right, some of you women, y'all would fumble the bag if y'all were in Cassie's situation. She didn't. She stayed down, kept her mouth shut. When stuff was coming out during this trial, in my opinion, Cassie is dirtier than Sexy Red. As dirty and filthy as Sexy Red portrays herself, we still don't have anything definitive like what we got with Cassie, where, she getting plowed out in the freak-offs, dozens of men, if they going on a 3-4 day bender. She doing drugs, coked up and mollied up and all types of drugs up out of her head. She is not as innocent as people were led to believe. She has changed now, I think, a lot of people's outlook on these, quote-unquote innocent-looking women, that probably don't carry themselves like a Sexy Red or a Cardi B or a whoever else, but they getting plowed out and rammed out and dicked out and dick all in her stomach, stuffed up. Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, and I'm not knocking anyone, all right? If that's what you into, that's what you into. All right, we just saying that, you know, people had a perception, you know, about Cassie that I think got shattered. Let me just give a quick shout out to the MVP of this case. In my opinion, Rico Steele. All right, he not YSL Steele no more. This is Rico Steele. He taking on the feds and taking names. When they brought in Steele, because he wasn't on it at the beginning, when they brought on Brian Steele, I said, the diddler, he could be going home real soon. And, hey, now that's 2 rappers in less than a calendar year that Rico Steele, YSL Steele, Brian Steele has helped get off. You know, we had Thug a couple months ago, and now Diddy, innocent on the more severe of the charges. Closing out, the comeback is going to be phenomenal. I don't know exactly how long they can sentence Diddy for, especially when you put in the time served. I think he's been locked up for what, like close to a year already, 10 months or something like that. I think that they should put that towards it and let the man just go home. He's been embarrassed enough. We know things now about Diddy that, you know, will no longer make him a feared entity in the entertainment industry. You know, if people were scared of him having authority and power before, everyone been singing on him. Kid Cudi came up. All of the witnesses came up. Denise Richard came up. The bodyguards. You know, maybe they got to watch they back now that Diddy is coming home. And 50 might want to lay low for a little bit. You know, that billionaire boy coming home might want to flex his power, might have a little target on 50 back, because remember, 50 been talking smack throughout the entirety of this trial. What are your thoughts on this case? Do you think the jury got it wrong? Cassie Ventura, Jane Doe, and all of the women involved in this were all victims. They were all forced, manipulated, coerced to do these things. They did not want to engage in these freak-offs. Okay, they were forced to. They were drugged. They were told that they would be cut off if they didn't. They had no say-so in anything that was going on. He would order the prostitutes. He would order these women to have unprotected sex, sometimes with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys in one sitting or in one freak-off in one span of 3 or 4 days or however these things went on for, and they had no control. Okay, that's what it basically was. That's where the coercion and the trafficking comes in, and these jurors got it wrong. And some people don't understand how Diddy could use Cassie in such a way for such a long time and, you know, use up her youth, essentially her early 20s and 30s, and, you know, he's going to get off scot-free. Never mind all of the trauma that he caused all of these women and anybody that encountered him, including his assistants, Kid Cudi, Wale. Remember they said that he was dangling Wale over the balcony and all that. Anybody that came in contact with this guy was bound to be a victim. And this is just another example that there are 2 tiers of citizens. It's either you're a regular citizen or an elite, where you have all of this pull and connections. Who knows? He might have even known the prosecutor on the case. There's people floating around online accusing him of having connections with Comey, who was the prosecutor. I guess she's the daughter of the former FBI director, Comey. I don't know how deep it goes. Or do you think, free the diddler, Diddy didn't do anything? From all accounts, from what we have seen by the wonderful coverage of this case, again, shout out to AC, Urban Inner City Press, Unk, and Lauren Collier. Shout out to them on their amazing coverage, because I'd even be at work listening to what's going on. I think everybody was staying up with this case. And, I mean, what they're accusing him, it just wasn't there. Now, if they had tried him for assault or things like that, that's a completely different subject. And I think that everyone could come together after seeing that video of Diddy with in the hotel hallway chasing down Cassie with the towel. I think after that, everybody would have said Diddy is guilty of some sort of assault. Okay, but racketeering, trafficking, fraud, coercion. It's just not there. All right, they got him for the prostitution because I guess he was paying for people's services. A lesson for all of you little harlots out there getting flown out, this and that. You're prostitutes, okay? You're not being trafficked. You're not being coerced. None of that. You're just little hoes, okay? Cassie, same thing. Jane Doe, same thing. All of them, all of you OF girls, because I know all of y'all were sitting around looking for some way that y'all could finesse the system and file similar lawsuits to this. Well, this has set precedents. You're just little prostitutes. You're little hoes. You're going to provide a service, and that's the most. Okay, once you cross in state lines, it's not trafficking. Okay, it's prostitution. But that's all I really got to say on it. It's now proven Diddy didn't do it. Free Diddy. Let me know whatever your thoughts are in the comments section. Until the next video, man, please be safe out here. Peace.